Hey guys, welcome back to Pudubrews. I'm Howie along with Claude and ChatGPT. If you're into coffee and AI, you're in the right place. Stick around. So today we're going to talk about water. That's right, I said water. It's one of the three most important factors in coffee. It all starts with your coffee beans. If you don't use good coffee beans, you're not going to make good coffee no matter what you do. But after that, you could argue all day about is it your water or is it your grinder that comes next. But really, here's the thing. Water makes up over 98% of your filter coffee. If your water doesn't taste good, neither will your coffee. Every coffee nerd eventually falls down the same rabbit hole. First, you realize that your tap water isn't great, so they switch to distilled or RO. Then you realize that, hey, there are things like third wave water packets that you could dump into the gallon of water, dump it in, shake it up, off to the races, and there you go. Then eventually you wind up going down the full mad scientist and start playing with minerals by hand. If you're here, you've either thought about this or you're curious to see where that goes, and that's where we are today. This is actually going to be a three-part series. In this episode, me and the AI are going to try and dial in a recipe using Lotus Water Drops. In the second one, we'll try to do another one using Apex Lab Drops, but we're going to do it after the brew, so we'll see how that works after that. And then in the last one, we'll actually build a recipe from scratch using Lotus Water Drops to see what the best recipe is for me at that point. So we're going to start with the Lotus Water Drops. And Lotus Water Drops come in four different mineral types. You have magnesium, you have calcium, you have sodium, and you have potassium. And depending on the recipe that you're going to leverage straight out of the box, then there's a specific number of drops that you use for each one. This one is light and bright, and for 1 liter, which is what I use to measure for now using my RO water. The light and bright uses no magnesium, 7 drops of calcium, no sodium, and 6 potassium. So when I mix that with 1 liter of my RO water, remember it was not 0 TDS to begin with, which is what this assumes you're dealing with. It was off. It did not taste good to me at all. It was astringent, it was bitter, it was chalky. All that rolled up into one, so I knew that wasn't going to work for me. So I used the AI to help me come up with what is the best way to make this work for me. And this is what it came up with. It came up with what we're calling 5512. So 5512 was broken down by 5 drops of magnesium, 5 drops of calcium, a drop of sodium, and 2 drops of potassium. And going back and forth with the AI, it told me that, hey, go with 55 because that'll give it light body but a structured backbone. The sodium will keep it cohesive, but it really is intentionally low really to preserve the brightness of the coffee itself. And then the 2 potassium really does add that light and bright for the citrus side of it. But again, the original ratio assumes 0 TDS water. Because my RO source is 30 TDS, we start with a trace amount of sodium and calcium already in the mix, which really does shift the balance, which is why we had to play with these drops to get it closer to what that light and bright was supposed to be. So again, using the AI is where I asked it, how can it help me? I did not depend on the AI to come up with the recipe for me, but I told the AI exactly what I was tasting, and it made suggestions for us to get there. In there, we also got to 5501, 5511, but then 5512 really was the perfect balance, and it's what I've been using for a bit now, and it really does fit my everyday needs. So I'll be back with a hot take in a bit, right after a roast from ChatGPT.
Lotus called it light and bright. What they meant was thin and confused. You brewed with 30 TDS water in a recipe built for 0, and somehow expected balance. Sodium turned your cup from crisp to cafeteria soup. Potassium brought it back from the dead. That's not magic. It's chemistry doing your troubleshooting. A few drops later, sweetness, clarity, and logic were restored. Congratulations, you've completed your first AI-assisted water correction. Try not to break it again.
So here's my hot take. Coffee is the most important factor. Plain and simple, full stop. After that, the coffee scholars will argue until the cows come home about what 2A and 2B are, whether it's water or the grinder. Technique comes after that. Because if your coffee and your water aren't good, it doesn't matter how good your grinder is, it doesn't matter how much you spent on that grinder, or how well you pour. You're screwed. Anyway, that's my hot take. Claude's going to take us home with a like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Pudubrews.
Please like and subscribe. It's the only variable in this entire experiment we can actually control, and if you don't, Howie will assume this was a success and start testing me on anaerobic coffees. I've seen things. I don't want to go back there.